The hardest part isn't losing fat or building muscle. It's what happens after you reach your goal. I lost 28 pounds in under 100 days, but I also know what it's like to put the weight back on just as fast. So in this video, I will outline exactly what you need to do to keep progress, because the majority of people who transform their bodies lose almost all their results within a year. But with this simple maintenance system, you're sure to maintain your progress year round. I'm Dirk, Lifetime Natural. I've transformed hundreds of bodies, including my own. Helping people build muscle and lose fat and keep results is all I do. In this video, I'm revealing the 4 critical keys to maintaining your results forever. The exact framework that kept my 28-pound fat loss progression. And stick around until the end because I'll share the one counterintuitive habit that made the biggest difference. It takes just 10 minutes daily, but most people get it completely wrong. Quick backstory. I used to think getting lean was the hard part. And after years of hard work, I went from skinny fat to lean and muscular. I thought that body was going to fix everything, but in reality, I was just building a house on sand. I didn't have the habits. I didn't have the structure. I was just white knuckling my way through everything, just sacrificing whatever I could to get lean. And once I got there, I had no idea how to stay there. To sum up many months of what felt like hell, after I got the physique I wanted, I just completely spiraled out of control. I became depressed. I had a binge eating disorder. My sleep went to shit. My cortisol levels skyrocketed. My testosterone levels plummeted. And to top it all off, I gained about 30 pounds. And no, this wasn't the good kind of 30 pounds. At the time, I felt like a failure. But looking back, it was one of the best things that could have happened to me because it forced me to stop chasing results at all costs and instead start building a lifestyle that could actually support the results I worked for. I rebuilt everything. My meals, my habits, and my workouts. 97 days later, I was 28 pounds lighter and much happier. But like I said before, I haven't had to start over since, and now I enjoy a much more relaxed lifestyle that I can live in and not just suffer through. And that's what I want to show you how to build to. Here's the truth no one tells you. Getting results is typically done through sacrificing, but keeping results, that's about enjoyment. If your training feels like punishment and your meals feel like chores, you're not going to stick with it. And it's like trying to get shredded by just consuming chicken smoothies, which I did do. Technically doable, emotionally scarring. Ever wonder how the biggest guy in your gym is able to train his ass off 6 days a week, put himself through hell, and still stay consistent every single day? It's not discipline. It's enjoyment. And that kind of enjoyment doesn't come overnight. It's just built slowly through consistency, progress, and routines that make you feel better, not worse. Nobody who is consistent long-term started off training 6 days a week and eating dry ass chicken and broccoli. That level of discipline that you see in advanced lifters comes from gradually falling in love with the process and not from forcing themselves through misery on day one. You just start small. You train a couple days a week. You find healthier meals you enjoy and you stack small wins. And then over time, the process becomes just a part of who you are. And that's the key. It has to be enjoyable enough to keep coming back to it. So here's how we do that. I've broken this down into 4 keys to long-term results. Starting off with number 1, train with a plan that you actually enjoy. Do you want to know what the best split is to build muscle? Or how about the best exercises that burn the most fat? Or do you want to know what's the best workout for getting a 6-pack? The answer, the workouts that you're going to consistently show up to. There are exercises and techniques that are objectively better. And yes, I believe in training with intention. In fact, I use 3 core tenets to guide every muscle growth plan I build: manipulating mechanical tension, proper progressive overloading, and balancing intensity with recovery. And I've got a full site. Actually, I've got a full guide on my site that breaks all that down for free. But even those don't matter if you aren't consistently showing up or just looking forward to those workouts. I remember getting caught up in trying to optimize everything that I actually started hating my workouts. Something I used to love doing just felt like a chore. And that's when I realized that the best exercises are the ones that make you want to keep showing up, because the most important part of making progress is just showing up again and again and again. Crazy thing is, for me, I only train 4 days a week, not 5, not 6, not 7, just 4. That's because that's what I can consistently show up to given my current responsibilities. And because I only go to the gym 4 times per week, I actually love going to the gym again. For reference, this is the physique that I built with just 4 workouts per week. Trust me, what you do when you're in the gym, the intensity that you bring, the progress that you objectively measure, these are going to be so much more important than how long you spend training or how many days you go to the gym per week. I mean, it sounds corny, but it truly is quality over quantity every time. And when your training fits your life, you start to look forward to the gym again, which will improve the quality of your sessions and then the quality of life and how you feel outside of the gym. Start with what you enjoy and then build the structure around that. When the process feels good to live in, you'll actually stick with it. And that's where that real growth is going to happen. Number 2 is the most important one. Enjoy your food or you will quit. I've seen this happen over and over again. Someone sticks with a new meal plan for a couple weeks and then just completely falls off because they can't stand the food. So here's how you make your diet sustainable. Your meals need to check off 3 simple boxes. Number 1, it has to taste good. Number 2, it has to be both convenient and affordable. And then number 3, it has to support your goals. If it fails even one of those, then your plan is already falling apart. This is where macro manipulation comes in. It's the strategy that I use with my clients to build meals that are actually enjoyable, sustainable, and, move the needle. I eat cereal, pancakes, sandwiches, even pints of ice cream, and still hit my 250-gram protein goal every single day. And no, those aren't cheat meals. That's just how I built my plan. Why would I cheat on my diet when it already includes my favorite foods? And those are just my preferences, but you can apply this to anything. And to help you do so, again, I made a free guide that you can just grab on my website. So when your food hits all 3 of those marks, sticking to your diet isn't actually going to feel like effort. It's just going to feel normal. And that's when staying consistent becomes second nature. The best diet isn't the cleanest. It's the one that you look forward to and keeps you on track with your goals. Number 3 is build habits that don't break under stress. We all know what it feels like to be on a roll. Workouts are dialed, the meals are locked in, you feel fucking awesome, and you've just got this momentum. But then life hits. Work gets busy, sleep falls off, stress creeps in. Suddenly the routine that once felt easy suddenly feels impossible. And that's where most people are going to fall off. Not because they aren't capable, but because their plan only works when life is perfect. That's why I always tell my clients we don't build routines around motivation. We build systems that survive real life. Systems like flexible workout windows, so you're not married to a 6 p.m. time slot to work out, or go-to meals that you can make for protein snacks in under like 10 minutes, or non-negotiables like a super quick morning walk or morning routine, or something to clear your head instead of opting for cheap dopamine indulgences. You want reward systems that make you feel sharper, more productive, and actually glad that you did them once they're done. For me, something as simple as a morning walk or hitting a daily step goal isn't just about fat loss. It's about a reset. It helps me feel more in control, and it kind of sets the tone for the entire day. These are the habits that don't feel like a chore. They just actually make you feel better afterwards. And that's why they last, because the habits that stick are the ones that feel good to do, which circles to this whole theme of enjoyment. When you stack small, encouraging wins like that, especially during stressful or unmotivated days, you stay on track without relying on willpower. And because that's a whole separate video on its own, the simplest way to get your foot in the door with this is just substitution. If you hate how you spend 2 hours a day on TikTok, don't just try to up and quit your cheap dopamine indulgence. Try to swap it with something first. Swap it with something healthy. Because when you get the urge to open up the app, it's much easier to just say yes to something else that's productive, like reading a book, going for a walk, or even just, calling a friend to check in on them. These are going to be a lot easier to say yes to than just consistently telling yourself, no, I'm not going to open that app. I'll just get back to work like an idiot and just sit here pretending I'm much happier without scrolling. This way you won't need more willpower. You just need fewer barriers, and then you need habits that are actually going to recharge you. Lastly, don't forever chase progress. Learn to cycle it. One of the biggest reasons people fall off is because they stay stuck in this grind mentality, always cutting, always pushing harder, never giving themselves room to breathe. And look, there is a time to push, but there's also a time to pull back. If you're always chasing fat loss or trying to level up your physique, you're just going to burn out mentally and physically. I used to be in that loop too, thinking if I wasn't dieting, then I wasn't progressing, then I was just probably wasting time. But real progress doesn't work like that. Real progress happens when you move in seasons, and it's not just one continuous linear line. Sometimes you're focused on fat loss. Sometimes it's strength or performance, and sometimes it's just a maintenance phase. And any of these phases can range between, a week or like a full year. But all of these phases are productive as long as they're intentional. And let me be clear, giving yourself a maintenance phase is the smart thing to do, especially if you've got bigger priorities right now. Maybe work is really demanding, or you're going through something personal, or maybe you just want to enjoy life without constantly chasing a new fitness goal. Maintenance isn't falling behind, it's setting yourself up to progress faster. Because if you don't allow yourself space to maintain, then you're just going to burn out. It's not a matter of when, it's if. Oops. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Now, I'm personally in a maintenance phase with my physique, but I'm in a progression phase with my content, my school, and then my business. And that's the whole point. You can't be in grind mode in every aspect of your life all of the time. Learning to shift gears with intention is what creates sustainable progress in the long run. That's how you create a lifestyle that lasts, by aligning your effort with your season and not by forcing intensity 24/7. Sustainable results come from smart timing, intentional effort, and knowing when to push or when to maintain. And I'd argue that the maintenance phase is even more important so that you can be prepared to push harder when that push season actually does come around. Okay, now that you've got the idea, I want you to stop right now before you click away, because what I'm about to offer you will save you months of frustration. I've distilled everything that we just covered and much, much more into 2 free guides that you can implement immediately. My training tenants guide gives you the exact workout structure that keeps my clients consistent and progressing year round. And the macro manipulation blueprint shows you how I eat ice cream every night while maintaining single-digit body fat. These aren't fluffy PDFs. I personally wrote every word in these guides, and I spent months refining them. They're yours, completely free. First link in the description. I've been where you are. I know how hard it feels to work hard for these results and then just watch them disappear. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. Remember, y'all, nothing changes if nothing changes. Thanks for watching.